Welcome to the Interconnected Circle, a space where we slow down, tune in, and remember the truth of who we are. Here, we honor our stories, our sensitivity, and the unique expression our soul chose for this life's journey. Through reflection, circle principles, and connection with nature, we explore what it means to heal, to reclaim our voice, and to belong without changing ourselves. This is a space of compassion, curiosity, and deep inner remembering. I'm your host, Megan Tucker, and I'm joined by Christine Mahe from Grow the Soul Up, whose presence and sound medicine helps us settle into deeper connection. Thank you for being here. Let's begin with a deep breath together. Welcome back to the Interconnected Circle with me and Christine. We've been, we've been doing our own reflecting. We did a little bit of circle work in the holiday, right? And then so we were able to do a little bit of our own reflecting in the new year and really looking at our journeys, our personal journeys of how far we've come, and we are holistic beings, and so there's been sort of many journeys all happening simultaneously, right?
Right now, right?
Yeah. So there's, like our physical health journey, our mental health journey, our spiritual health, um, our emotional health, our energetic body, right? There's so many things that you aren't necessarily thinking about, but they're converging and happening at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And even just that like we were talking about 10 years ago, we wouldn't have been talking about this, right? We would have been talking about, oh, I'm having this physical health problem and it's just really affecting me, right? And
Or being stuck. Like for me 10 years ago, it was like, I was, I guess, maybe in a victim mode in a sense too, right?
yeah, right. Because it's sort of like we're not taught that we have some ownership and some ways of communicating with this physical body, right? And also we're not really taught that we can witness our thoughts and we don't have to follow them, right? There's all these things that you're not necessarily taught growing up, not everybody is anyway, that are part of sort of when you go on a healing journey trying to figure yourself out for whatever reason. It could be physical that gets you on that journey, or a mental health issue, right? There's lots of ways of getting on the journey, but the journey of like intentional understanding what's going on.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Basically, to me, that's, when you get to that point where you start to look at yourself and how you can change because for whatever reason, like you said, could be physical health, could be whatever the reason is, something's not working, right? And you're looking for something that maybe something different that you have never tried before, right?
Yeah. So I figured we could do a little bit of storytelling about kind of parts of our journey. And of course, we could probably storytell for days on all the different aspects. So, um, but I know, I just think about like there's, you have conversations with people, or at least I do have lots of
Mm,
deep conversations with people about like looking deeply at
mhm,
what's going on. And I feel like my journey through healing my body from arthritis
mhm.
is a really big one that gets people like, what?
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, exactly. Because usually that's something that once you have it, it just gets worse, right?
Yeah. 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 Most people will tell you like you're going to have it forever and it's just going to get worse and there's nothing you can do. Or you could take a bunch of steroids and sort of feel
Hmm.
better, but there's consequences. And well, so yeah, so a few different things happened to me that made it all, I made me look at it differently, right? So I was like 13 when I first started having arthritis symptoms.
Wow, that's really young.
Yeah. Yeah, and I would wake up in the morning and my hands would just be like stuck. I couldn't
Yeah.
open my fingers. And then I would like try and they would hurt so
Mhm.
badly and it would take me a while to like really get them to where I could open them and hold them open without it being painful. And then like midday I could use my hands normal. Um and so now I'll tell you, like the previous year, I developed lactose intolerance. So that's
Mm,
also an important um, key in the story.
mhm,
And there's lots of, overlapping considerations.
mm,
Anyway, so I go to the doctor for this arthritis, and they aren't interested in looking into why I have it. They test me for lupus. I test positive for that.
oh, wow.
Um, I think I tested negative for rheumatoid arthritis, but they just started giving me these giant ibuprofen pills,
Mhm.
really big and hard. And I had a hard time swallowing pills, so like I remember those.
Yeah. So just mask the pain and don't worry about it, right? Don't worry about why it's happening at such a young age, right?
Yeah. And then I started getting like back pain and hips and knee, basically all my joints,
Mm-hmm.
wrists. So like I was playing hockey and volleyball and handball and badminton and I was like taping. I had all this pain and nobody was interested in trying to help me figure it out. They just were telling me to take Advil and Tylenol back
Mm,
to back to
yeah.
get through it.
Hmm.
And that went on for a while, where it was just like, just keep taking those. Oh, and we're going to send you to a back class because you must be lifting improperly to have that kind of back pain.
Hmm.
Like just ridiculous. Like, why are
Yeah.
you sending a 15-year-old to a back class?
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, so it's like, it was just this whole experience of, um, we're not going to try to figure out why this is odd. We're just going to put you on pills.
Hmm. Yeah.
And yeah, yeah. And so then I had other issues too, other physical health issues. I had like sinus problems. So I was like being medicated in a few different ways. I was having like sinus headaches, just like so much pain, and so young through my teens and my 20s. And then the whites of my eyes started to go yellow.
Mm, because of the painkillers.
Yeah. Yeah. So, so I had to start like trying to figure out what else can I do. Right. Because it's like, oh, I obviously can't take these anymore. So how do I deal with this pain?
Hmm.
Um, so I developed shingles,
Oh my God.
and then I got reactive arthritis, so my immune system was so impacted that like I woke up one morning and I couldn't move my body, and I actually had this like moment of terror where I thought that I couldn't move. I thought I was paralyzed.
Wow.
And I'd had other like weird random things happen to me, like random rashes and stuff. So then you just like you get this fear, right? And I just remember waking up in the morning like, oh my God, I can't move. Oh my God, you know, and it's just I'm like in my mid-20s and thinking I'm paralyzed. And then I start to like move really slowly, you know, and like, oh, it's just super painful. And so it just had, you know, gotten worse and worse. And I had shingles, like my, you know, my immune system was just destroyed. I was just sick all the time. I was sick all the time my whole life, actually, in lots of ways. Like my immune system too, like I was always ill, always catching every cold, and I would keep it for a long time.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, so that I think has like another cause. I think there's like some root causes to some of those
Mhm.
issues now that I did a whole bunch of diving in and learning about my body and what's going on with me. And it took me several years of going to like lots of different holistic practitioners.
Mhm.
Um, you know, I tried iridology. I tried like a naturopath. I tried Reiki. I tried even like laying on a bed of magnets, you
Mhm.
know, like massage and like infrared and like detoxing foot those ion foot baths. Like I've tried so many things,
Mhm.
and I'll tell you, like all of that learning has helped me to heal.
Right.
And I think the biggest thing was like finding a naturopathic doctor who could help me sort of um, decode what was going on,
Mhm.
right? Like,
Not just
and
throw some pills at it. Mm, Yeah.
yeah, like to
Well,
really look
when
at
you have
what's the
other-
source, you know, like what could have caused these things, these multiple issues that we're seeing, right? And then how do we support the body to heal from that? And so it's like I went on this whole journey, and it took me, well, you know, it's been like 15 years total, but it took me like I want to say like 5 to 10 to really like I just keep seeing more healing. Like
Of course.
old things that were problems before, it's like more and more I don't have them anymore. So the arthritis is completely healed. And so we figured out it was because I was celiac and didn't know it. That was causing inflammation. It caused
Mhm.
gut, which caused a whole bunch of like reactiveness to all kinds of foods. So I was
Mhm.
super reactive. My immune system. So when you're celiac for a long time and undiagnosed, wheat just destroys your intestines where your immune system is, right? So I had to do all this learning about my physical body to
Mhm.
understand why I was so ill in so many ways, you know?
And
Um,
that's the thing about like modern medicine is the doctors don't go for, why. They don't look for the root cause. It's just like this is what you have. Let's, try to mask the pain. Like how often are they actually healing? Like there's a lot of things they don't. It's just like, oh, well, we really don't know what to do, right? Like it's just, and those pills, what do they do? Look, you obviously it was affecting your liver if your eyes were going yellow.
yeah.
And it's just everything. It's like why we never have real answers,
Yeah.
you know?
Well, I think so. I had to do a lot of like diving into like, why is it that way? And they are very much taught about like medications and what they're for,
Yeah.
right? So they're very much taught about like, if you have these symptoms, take this, which
Mhm.
like, that's great if you need to save somebody's life, right? Um,
Yeah.
so I feel like there's a place for that type of medicine, but I think it's overused in the wrong way because it's the only thing that's covered under our healthcare.
Well, and that's the thing. And there isn't enough doctors. Like, they couldn't take the time to really look at what the problems are, right? Like, because it's like, let's get you in and out as quickly as possible, you know?
Well, and they're not trained in it either.
Oh, and that's the thing. It's impossible for them to know everything.
Yeah, they're not trained in like preventative medicine like
Mhm,
naturopath doctors are, right?
mhm,
And so we need to go to the places that can help us, right? And so that's, I think, a big part of the journey, right? Is figuring out that, like, oh, I was going to the wrong place,
yeah.
but we didn't know that because we went to the place everybody goes to. And this is what's happening. Everybody's getting more and more ill from going to the wrong place. Because it's for chronic conditions that have a cause like mine, putting a band-aid on it won't make it better because you're getting worse. The more wheat that you eat, the more damage you're doing, the more you're just slowly killing your body
Mhm,
in the slowest, most painful way, because you kill all the parts that absorb nutrients.
mhm,
So for a long time I wasn't absorbing nutrients. That's why I was so ill, you know. Yeah, like I was like so pale and so thin and sickly.
mhm,
And yeah, it's a whole thing that you just um no one's teaching you about these different things, and our doctors don't even have the tools. They didn't even have the tools to diagnose me. um I had to learn that on my own, and go to a naturopath. So I don't have an official diagnosis, so I can't even claim it on my taxes, you know. Like I had to figure it out myself, and I
mhm,
just get shafted.
mhm.
Right,
Yeah.
so it's funny, funny and ridiculous, but it, it led me down the path of looking deeper and looking at the sources of things. And so then, and then I got into the holistic realm, that actually there's more to it, right? It's not just about what I'm eating.
Yeah.
Right,
About
there's
the energies, like, why did so and so eats this, you eat the same thing, why is it not affecting them? It's more than what you're eating,
yeah.
right? And that's where it becomes like disease or pain or any of that. It stems from emotions, whether we realize what that emotion is or not. And that's where working on those things really helps, right?
Mhm. Yeah, yeah, because it stresses your body in a different way, right?
Mhm,
And so the thing I sort of figured out is that it all goes down to like cortisol.
mhm.
And you know what the wild thing is? The medicine they give for all the autoimmune conditions to shut off the symptoms is it's like a cortisol mimic. It's steroids, right? So
Mhm,
um, they're pumping us with stress hormones
mhm.
to run away from our symptoms effectively. Like actually, like fight or flight. Our body's just
Yeah.
like, I'm out of here.
Yeah. And then you have all kinds of other things, right? Like,
Yeah. Yeah, your adrenals get really fatigued.
snowballs. It's
Yeah.
snow.
Yeah. Yeah. Like it's too much long term. So it's actually more worth it to figure out what's the cause of your issue, because steroids aren't sustainable long term. They're just not good for you, right? So if you figure out the cause, you can heal it, and then we don't have to be on steroids forever, right? We don't have
Yeah,
to have the
exactly.
consequences.
So how did you come about, like, learning about herbs and all that? Like, did somebody tell you, oh, you should try this? Or did you always know, kind of? Or how did you get down that?
Yeah. Yeah, I think it really went when I was starting to see holistic practitioners, and they were telling me you need to take these herbs to detox your body. Um,
Mhm,
and I did a lot of detoxing. Oh my gosh. Like I had like a healing crisis detoxing in the beginning. Because yeah, like think about all those years of all that medication. Because
mhm,
I was also on like a nasal spray for the sinus
mhm.
issues. I frequently took antibiotics to the point where they didn't work very well
Yeah.
anymore. So now I'm like, I won't take those.
Mhm,
Because I know what it's like to have antibiotic resistance. So
Yeah.
I will do it all naturally now. And I know that I can, which is, yeah. So where I learned that mainly is like my naturopathic doctor. She's like, Dr. Ann, I love her.
Mhm.
She's taught me so much over the years. A lot of them, all the different ones, you know, they teach you things. But she by far has the most knowledge in her brain, and is able to translate it in a way that made sense to me. So yeah, and then she sent me on my own learning journey, and Circle brought me to the place of recognizing my own power, you know, in that, like, okay, I know how to communicate with my body. I know how to figure out what's going on now after
Mhm.
being taught. So I'm in charge of me now. And so that just sent me on the whole plant medicine journey, you know,
Mhm.
of like, okay, if I'm in charge of me, and also part of what sent me on the plant medicine journey and the foraging it for myself was actually being poor. You know, like
Yeah. Some
sometimes
You're
shit
put in a
happens.
situation for something.
Yeah, because for a while I was just buying herbs from Dr. Ann, and then I couldn't afford it for a while because of other life circumstances that we can get into it another time. But yeah, so I went on this whole like, okay, if I can't afford to buy it, but I need it and it's somewhere close by, I'm gonna pick it. And
Right?
so then I got into a deeper relationship with Mother Earth. I always had one, like through childhood, and it was Circle that helped me realize, you know, come back to the land. So first I realized the land was good for me energetically and emotionally, just being out there. And then I realized, oh, these plants, this medicine. So yeah, so at first it was just walks, you know, just getting out there and calming my nervous system, because that's
Mhm.
huge, right? Like you can do all the like nutrition stuff you want. If you don't calm your nervous system, you are out of that stress body,
Yeah, for
right?
sure. That's
And
very important.
yeah, so you're still pumping cortisol. You're making yourself sick, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. So and then in my work, you know, I was working in human services and really doing a lot of looking holistically. How do we help people holistically? Because I was specifically looking at um, how people fall through the cracks,
Mhm.
you know, the cracks of the systems and services, and people are falling through the cracks all the time.
Mhm.
And it's
Oh,
because it's not just one thing.
mhm.
There's many things going on for all of us having this human experience. And when you stack extra on top of people who already have a lot of things stacked against them, it gets harder to navigate life. Everything gets more stressful. We become more ill. It becomes harder to manage. You know, like
Yeah.
this whole negative spiral happens. And so we have to look holistically if we want to help people.
Mhm.
Um, you can't just say, oh, go work out and you'll feel better. No, that's not the only thing.
Yeah, exactly. Like I agree. And some people say, "Oh no, you got to stick to one thing." It's like to me it's just a whole lifestyle change essentially, right? It's everything. It's your thoughts, it's your it's the more, I mean, I'm not saying, starting with one thing is definitely you know,
Start somewhere. Yeah.
yeah, but like I think about things and I can't even like it's just everything, like from using essential oils to, oh, well, oh, look, I've got these plants in my backyard that I can use and make things with,
Hmm.
like because I have bad skin. My son had really bad skin. Always looking for, like you said, I guess a lot of that was, oh, I don't have the money, or I just, I always was the type that, like if I can know what's in my stuff that I'm putting on me, or like I prefer to know that it's clean and good for you, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Not full of chemicals.
yeah, like I don't, the more, I learn about how our bodies absorb everything, whether it's on our skin or, you know, I always thought, well, and I guess with the sensitive skin and buying products from the store, which often made me react, I was like, I don't want that stuff. Like, there's got to be something better, right? It was always about finding something better. And because the things that I was able to buy or the medicines the doctors would give weren't doing anything and causing more problems in some senses, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah. And to me, like learning simple things like breath work, from a really young age when I didn't know anything about energy work or anything holistic, it was like I think I was in elementary or junior high school
Mm-hmm.
having anxiety attacks, which wasn't a common thing back then. And having to go to a psychologist and learning about breath work and hypnosis and basically to me it was very similar to just a guided meditation, right?
Mm-hmm.
And learning to ground myself and learning to breathe instead of you know panicking all the time. So that was like part of my journey that's where my journey started, and not, like I said, not even unknowingly, I guess, right? And then just always like, oh well, they didn't give me medicine for that, so always coming to that point, well, there's got to be more.
Mm-hmm.
How did they do it back in the day, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, totally. You like it's if it's not sustainable. And so for me, I think I was forced to go on that journey earlier because it wasn't sustainable, right? Like those meds affected me more because I have a sensitive body, like we talked about last time, right?
Right.
Sensitive for lots of reasons. I was exposed to TB when I was an infant, and had to fight it off because nobody knew actually. And so then it was like when I was 6 that I tested positive at school, and everybody thought I was infected, but I wasn't. I actually had fought it off when I was 6 months
Wow.
old.
Wow.
Um, and then, but then they at 6 years old, like, 6 years later, after fighting it off, they forced me to go on that heavy duty antiviral medication. It was
Mm.
so gross. And like the health nurse came to my school every day and would like crush the pills
Wow.
into ice cream. Oh, it was so gross because I couldn't, they were such big pills and I couldn't swallow them and they were powdery. Yeah. And so I feel like that was also a part of affecting my immune system,
Mhm.
because after that is when I started getting sick all the time. So yeah, it's there's all these contributing factors that can make a person more sensitive, right? Um, and like I was an FASD trainer for a long time, so if somebody who has FASD has like there's like the potential for 428 comorbid conditions that are all like mostly inflammatory illnesses, right?
Wow.
So there's a lot of people who are more sensitive, and so we're going to have more issues in the world, and the doctor alone isn't going to be able to help us with all of them, you know? And so,
Well, and even the shortage of doctors right now.
yeah,
Um, like I feel like if we can just start learning what we can do for ourselves,
yeah, yeah.
and not putting in stuff that's poison.
Mhm.
And yes, I like I said, or we were talking about earlier, I'm not against modern medicine, but it's got a place.
Yeah.
And if we're using it for every little thing when we really need it, all of a sudden it's not going to work.
Well, yeah, like I developed antibiotic resistance, right?
Yeah.
'Cause I was just too sickly and they weren't finding the cause,
Mhm.
right? So, yeah, sometimes we have to look differently. And I feel like I feel like we each have to go on that journey of learning what else is out there.
Yeah.
And it's a personal journey of self-care and health and wellness.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's not so simple as like go for a run and drink a smoothie and you're healthy. You know, it's like there's
No.
so many factors. And so there's lots of ways you can, you know, you can go to lots of different practitioners, right? You can learn that way. You can learn through books, you can learn through podcasts, you know, you like there's all kinds of online courses. We're going to be doing some courses, you know, right? Like there's, I feel like this is the age we're in now. We have to recognize that
Mhm.
all of the systems are deficient. They've all been working in silos, and we are holistic. And so we're always going to be missing pieces. And so at this point in time, that's our job, right? Nobody's doing it for you. You have to take care of you, right?
Yeah, and that's, I think, what it all boils down to is we're responsible. And if we stop looking at it like, oh, great, I'm responsible for my own health. Well, no, like, we're lucky.
Yeah, we are
It's
very
50,
powerful, actually.
yeah. And like learning energy medicine and working with crystals and um just I've learned so many different modalities, all in trying to, like I said, like we were talking about earlier, different layers, right?
Mm-hmm.
And um just trying different things, and even spirituality, because it helps. Spirituality is a big part of our health,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
Having faith and trust in something, I feel, is, to me, is very important, because it's what's gotten me to this point, right?
Mm-hmm.
And just learning that we are, we can do a lot for ourselves. We are really powerful beings,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yep.
And how, some people say spiritual bypassing. And I agree, you still have to look at the reality of things. But I've been in situations that, had I not learned all these different things, I don't think I would be here.
Mm-hmm.
You know, um, really looking at myself and patterns that I kept being a victim of, right? Um, and taking responsibility for my part in those things.
Mm-hmm.
But working with tools like crystals and different types of energy work. But I still feel like using those things, it's not just a guaranteed.
Mm-hmm.
To me, those things help to move the energy, because you you have an intention, right? And those things just help to change your vibrations,
Yeah.
and they help, but you still have to do the work.
Yeah.
You can't just hold the crystal in your hand and be like, oh, life's great, it's going to be great. If anything's not great, it's because this crystal, right? you know
Yeah. You go right back to thinking negative thoughts. You bring your
yeah.
frequency right back down.
Yeah, and also I think using those things is intentional, because then it's like, okay, why am I using this?
Yeah.
It reminds you of why,
Mhm.
right? I definitely, though, once I've started using crystals, I feel like it has definitely transformed my life. Um, in ways that I never would have. We go back to the 10-year thing. I never would have been talking about crystals helping me 10 years ago.
Yeah.
But they really have, and I've felt the difference, right? Um,
I've been
yeah, just
collecting rocks in
from
my pocket.
nature, though. Things from nature, right?
Yeah.
Just, they literally, another form of medicine from nature.
It is. It is. It's grounding, right? It like, having those anxiety rocks in your pocket like that, it works. You know, just like rosary beads work. What we believe in
Hmm.
work, because so much of it is actually that we have the power to heal ourselves, and when we believe we can, we do,
Yes.
right?
Yeah, for
That's
sure.
the energetic part of it. And so that's why when people are like, oh, let's see if it actually works, it's probably not going to work very well for you,
No,
or in a noticeable
block the
way.
energy of it, right? When you're
Exactly.
blocking the energy, it's like you know, if somebody was to come to me for a Reiki session or a crystal healing session, and they're like, well, there's no way this is going to work, but I guess you can try, whatever, you know,
There's a wall.
I guarantee you that it will not work and I'm wasting my time and yours, right?
Yeah.
It's, you have to be open,
Yeah.
but you
Either
also have to be
or
open.
believe in it, you know, either way.
Same with, if you go to the doctor and he gives you pills, if you believe those pills are not going to help you, they probably won't either,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Yep. Actually.
So it's about being open.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And yeah, so much of the time we think we're taught to believe so like scientific, you know, and like, oh, there we, you know, we have to see the research behind this. And you know, actually, if you do the digging, there's a lot of research
Oh, there is.
behind understanding sort of the metaphysical side of things, and so it's there. But it's funny how we get scared off of things, you know, because of what we were told, like it has to be this way. um and so I believe that having an open mind has helped me the most, because there was a time in my life where I didn't have a super open mind.
Yeah.
I was just starting to, you know,
Mhm.
and I believe it like took me longer to heal because of that, you know.
Yeah, and that's the thing, right? You weren't open to receiving
Yeah,
different answers,
yeah,
right?
yeah. And I believe that circle is a big part of the thing that
Mhm.
helped me to open my mind, right? To see all these multiple perceptions and perspectives, and to have us all share this human journey together, and realize, oh yeah, there's so many different ways to do it and so many different ways to get through it. So many different allies and helpers for the journey,
Mhm.
right? And
Also knowing that you're not the only one in the world suffering,
yeah.
right? And suffering looks different for everyone,
Mhm.
right? Or issues, whatever. It might not be a real suffering, but everyone's got problems.
Yeah. And so
Just
much of what we need is like guidance
Mhm.
from somebody who isn't judging us,
Yeah.
a little bit of support from somebody who isn't saying, oh, that looks bad, so we better just turn it off or stop or not or ignore, or right. It's like, no, we're not, we need to look at it wholly
Mhm.
from a space of okay, like I wouldn't wreck my own life intentionally, so like what's going on, right? And from a space of safety.
Yeah. Well, and two, our throat chakra, our voice.
Hmm.
A lot of people don't have a safe space to just talk, right?
Yeah.
And so that creates blockages in your throat chakra. So problems with your throat, clenching, jaw clenching, maybe problems with your ears. You know, it can cause all kinds of issues in this area that people are not aware of.
Yeah.
They don't even realize. And that's like where the emotional part, how it starts to affect our body. And
Hmm.
you know, if you don't take care of those little things, eventually, what else is it going to start doing?
Yeah.
You know, you may bring in some severe diseases to those areas or whatever. So that's where, well, first of all, we're creating safety, which is your root chakra,
Hmm. Ground.
right?
Yeah.
And heart chakra, because
Hmm.
we're, you know, I feel like everyone there is always just so loving.
Hmm.
And the throat chakra, being able to speak, right? And you know, the one, you know, the last session we did a creative project. So that's our sacral chakra. I'm kind of jumping all over, but we've got also the solar plexus is building up our strength and our like empowerment, right?
Hmm.
You know, and then we do third eye with our meditations and our sound baths. And then, you know, our spiritual connection, which is the crown chakra. So we cover all those bases, you know,
Hmm.
in circle, where it creates alignment in our bodies.
Mm-hmm.
And when we create alignment and balance, well, all of a sudden, oh, maybe my headache, I don't have that headache that I always have. Or, oh, my throat feels better today. Or, oh, I feel like more relaxed, right? And
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I guess it would depend on your circumstances, but if you're able to take that time and join circle with us, it doesn't just last that amount of time. It balances you. So the rest of your week will flow nicer. If you've
Mm-hmm.
got a problem that comes up, you might be able to like, oh yeah, we talked about breathing, or we did some breathing and that really felt good, or I did some stretching and that really felt good. So maybe
Mm-hmm.
I'm just 2 minutes and do that. And it's, I think, learning from everyone and learning what we're teaching, because we both have so many years of learning and experience.
Mm-hmm.
And that's, I feel like, why we came together, was to teach everyone and to help spread that
Yeah.
message, right? So
Yeah.
other people could know.
Yeah. Totally. Totally. I feel like our next circles should actually be about connecting with our bodies.
Hmm.
Yeah, because we've done that in the past. We have done those circles, but I want to do them now again online, right? Because communicating with yourself and figuring out how to know if something is right for you, like that's huge.
Hmm.
And that's where we're empowering ourselves to say, yeah, actually, I am in charge of my own health, and it doesn't feel like I can't do it. So we get to a space where we feel like, yeah, actually, I can take this on. It's
Yeah,
not.
it's
I
kind of
don't require a doctor.
but it gets exciting, especially when you do something and it's like, wow, like you start
Mhm.
realizing, because sometimes it's so slow that you kind of almost forget, and then it's like you stop yourself like, oh, I haven't had any pain for a while, or I
Yeah.
can walk better, it doesn't hurt so much, or whatever the case may be, right?
Hmm. Yeah, I know. That's the one thing I love about sort of telling that story about my journey through arthritis is now, and then I really get to notice,
Hmm.
like, holy man, I was still having pain a little bit sometimes in my 30s.
Hmm.
And so now I'm in my 40s and I don't have pain. Like,
You've also gotten rid of a lot of other problems,
yeah,
right? Have you noticed, you know, in your journey, that letting go of not just the natural medicine, not just all that, but
but
setting
looking forward
boundaries
to,
and taking care of your emotional health?
yeah,
Have
totally.
you noticed physical?
Yeah, I used to carry so much tension. Oh my gosh. When I was constantly people pleasing and overachieving and feeling like that was how I was supposed to live my life, I was full of so much tension.
Mm-hmm.
And now I don't have it. And so when I do get it for a reason, like from like snowshoeing or something, I notice and I'm like, oh, I haven't had that in a while, you know?
But it's a good feeling, right? Because you're
Yeah.
supposed to be a little sore from that,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? It just means you used your body. But
Mhm.
um, can you
But I also,
imagine holding on to all that tension, what it
yeah,
was
so
also doing that you weren't realizing, right?
yeah, so that's the other thing I was just gonna say is I noticed recently because I did try to take on a stressful job.
Mm.
I was getting so much tension and tension headaches and like I was having to work so hard to keep my physical body well throughout the time working there because it felt so stressy on me. And so then I was like spending my whole evening like doing all the different things of de-stressing,
Mm.
so I would stretch and I would have a bath with essential oils and some plants and some Epsom salt, um, and so it's like I was having to do all these, it's like almost every
Extra.
night because I had so much I could just feel it, right? And I was also making myself tea, talking to my plants, right? Me and my plants, we we're in relationship, right? Like, so when you go and you harvest, like, these are you're communicating with them. They want to come home with me. They're part of my life now. Like, that's so that's a beautiful thing. And so it's like I was like every night talking to my plants, making my tea, and because like so many people were sick around me. I was working, you know, human services, and everybody was sick. And so I'm like, I'm super stressed out, everybody's sick, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, I know enough about my immune system, like I have got to take care of me, right? So
Yep.
I was also doing lots of body scan meditations, breath work, talking to my body, talking to my cells about like, yeah, we got this. There's a lot of sick people, but it's okay. We got everything we need. We've got our plants. Like, it's like
Yeah.
people probably think I'm a weirdo, right? Like, but I've gone on a journey to become this beautiful weirdo. And I love it.
Well, and that's, I often say that, how if I met somebody like me 10 years ago, I'd be like, wow, that one is weird.
Yeah, for
I
real.
always think that. And I'm like, oh my
We're
God,
nut jobs to some
it's
people.
so different. Right?
Yeah,
But I'm okay with it. I like it actually.
it's the part of the journey we're on, so we're embracing it.
Right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So that's. I feel like that's. I think that's a good. We came to a good place, right? Like, tell the story of going through it. Like, we were going through it in a really like siloed way. Like, oh, we're looking at, but eventually we got to this place where it's like, oh, it all matters. And this is why circle is so important to us, because where else can we converge it all? Where else do we have the safety to allow our brain and body to communicate in that way?
And
That's
set
what
the
circle.
time, set aside the time to do
Yeah.
it, right?
Yeah.
Because we've often talked about this being like a date when we have circle, a
Yeah.
date with yourself, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and with the new year, and um, I do so much astrological, like what's going to be happening. And this year is a year of new beginnings. It's a 1 year. 2026 adds up to a 10, which is a 1. So it's all about new beginnings. So last year we were shedding a lot and transforming and getting rid of a lot of things, because this year it's all about new beginnings. And they are saying that things are going to be, we thought last year went fast. They're saying this year is going to be even faster. So I really feel like taking this time, with everything there, the world is getting crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And I just feel like it's so important for us to do this more than ever. To learn, to take the time intentionally for ourselves, first of all, but to learn about all these different little things that we can do to help ourselves, and to help ourselves enjoy life. And, maybe not look, I'm not saying ignore the bad things, but when we start looking at the good things and having gratitude,
Yeah.
her life changes so much
Mm-hmm.
just by having gratitude. And I know, having been at my rock bottom, living with my parents with no job, um, in my 40s, thinking, what's the point anymore, I really had to I had to find the smallest things to
Mm-hmm.
be grateful for. And the more I did that, um, and working with my crystals, and just doing a lot of breath work, because I had so much anxiety. I actually went to the doctors, because of the anxiety, thinking, okay, I'm just gonna get pills. Like this is too much. Even though I was doing the work and everything, it
Mm-hmm.
was just too much because it was just I was going through a really stressful time, and it was I took them for a couple days and I could literally feel my intuition change. I
Mm-hmm.
almost feel the blockage happening. And I'm not saying to people not to take that medication, but for me, it was not going to, I wasn't willing to lose that because I had worked hard to get to that point. And so I just said, no, I have to do this myself. I have to be intentional and I need to build myself back up. And I know that's very difficult, but I was lucky I had very supportive and loving people in my life, right? Not everybody has that. I'm so thankful for that because that was definitely what helped me too, right? Um, but using all those tools, I had also learned to get out of it, right? And that was big.
Mm-hmm. Well, and that's also my hope for Circle, right? That we can
Yeah.
be that space for people.
And that's the thing. Like I wish I would have had a space like that, right? Um, because yeah, it's just so nice to be able to talk without being judged.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying we all come there and that's all we do is talk about our problems because I don't feel like that's what it is at all. I feel like sometimes just the energy of us being together is enough to uplift us too, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So the journaling, just learning these things, and even if we knew them before, it's putting them into practice, right?
Mm-hmm.
And changing how we do things in our lives. I just feel like it makes a world of difference.
Yeah. Absolutely. Those like gentle reminders because the world gets busy and hectic and
Mhm.
I know for years I used to just be mad at myself for
Mhm.
forgetting to do the things that I knew could be helpful.
Yeah.
But it's like I forgot. Like, what's the point of getting mad about it? Like, you know? And so
Mhm.
Circle's been the thing that helps me to not forget because I'm talking to people about it. It's like, yeah, actually, there is research around meditation being so helpful. So yeah, let's talk about it. And then that helps me to remember to do it. Right.
Well, and we talked, you and I have talked about how when we didn't, we skipped a couple of times or with the holidays it kind of got hectic and um when we don't take that intentional time though, how it's like, oh, I'm feeling a little flustered,
Mhm.
because you and I are the same, right? We're busy too, and sometimes we forget to do the things, but I think when we're kind of committed to showing up, we're committing to, it's a reminder, and when we do it more often, it's like, oh yeah, I got something to fall on. I don't have to like react the same way I did before, or I don't have to feel the way I used to, or I don't have to even get sick like I used to.
Mhm.
I can keep my vibes higher than all the people around me that are sick, or I can feel my body is, it's fighting something. I'm going to give it additional rest. Or,
Yeah, yeah, just knowing like, okay, I got to do a little bit extra right now, right?
yeah.
Yeah, even paying attention to your water intake and
Hmm. Yeah.
um and the other thing I've been doing lately is talking to my water, right? Talking to my water and talking to my food, talking to all of it, my plants,
Mhm.
because it's like that actually amplifies its health
Yeah.
energetically.
Yeah.
Right?
It does. It really does. There's actually been studies. Oh my goodness. I don't remember his name, but there's a doctor that did a study on water.
Dr.
And he
Emoto.
spoke to it.
Hmm.
Yeah. And spoke to it and how the vibration of the water and how this, it changed and, where it was good and bad energy, basically what they were being fed and how different it came out, right?
Yeah. Yeah. He has several books. I have a couple of them with the images where they froze water over
Yeah.
a word or an image, and the water will freeze like in the shape of
Yes.
whatever the thing is.
Yeah, isn't that crazy? So that just proves to you how
Yeah.
energy is real, like it literally, and that's what how energy works, right? That's
Yeah.
kind of how crystals work. That's how sound healing works. It changes the vibrations of our cells and the water in our body to help us vibrate at those higher vibrations, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
So if
Yeah.
we're ingesting those foods that you've placed a higher energy into, that's going to reflect in your body, right? Because you're
Mm-hmm.
going to then absorb it.
Yeah. 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 So there's just so many things, right? So many ways we can support ourselves. I even have a pot on the stove simmering with some cedar
Mm-hmm.
and juniper and mullein for, our lungs, our
Yeah.
respiratory system. Because that's the cold that's going around, and so we're just being preventative, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah. So it's like all of that learning taught me that I just have to do more. Having this sensitive body means I have to be aware, I have to pay attention to how the world is affecting this physical body. And I don't get down about it. I don't get upset with myself about it. It's like this is just the way it is. This physical body that I got for this journey has these issues. And so I just know how to work with them now. And I try to make sure I pay good enough attention that I don't end up getting sick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that I don't hurt myself
Yeah.
with tension, or
Mm.
stress.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's just not worth it, is it?
no, no, I like feeling good after all those years of feeling bad when I was young. And now I'm like, oh, this is what it's like to feel good. I don't want to go through the thing where they tell you that aging makes you feel bad. I just want to keep feeling better.
Yeah, and that's like you really are reverse aging, right? Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's the goal. So, I got some cheat codes too, but that could be for another day. It's like
Yeah.
there's things that you do that it's like, okay, well, if I didn't get enough sleep, I'm gonna do a yoga nidra, right? Like I have little cheater way
Mm.
of getting through life, even if I don't behave perfectly.
Yeah.
So I don't have to be mad at myself.
Yeah, exactly. And we are human, and sometimes we just do things we know we're not supposed to,
Yeah.
right?
And so gotta have self-compassion. That's another
Yeah.
thing Circle teaches us is getting mad just lowers and drains us even more.
Yeah, it lowers the vibrations again, right?
Yeah. So if you catch yourself, there's just no point in getting mad. Like, oh, why did I do that? Oh, why did I do that? Like just switch it into curiosity,
Mhm.
um, because that keeps your vibration higher, right? Like, because we are complex humans, right? And
Yeah.
this will be several different podcasts talking about the different ways things affect us, right?
Mhm.
Um, and so yeah, there's lots of things to pay attention to, lots of things that end up being sort of our responsibility. But when we get well in our energetic body, our physical body, our mental, when we figure that out, then it's it's actually easier to know that it's our responsibility.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
for
the
sure.
not knowing that actually made it bad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Right? Yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I feel like those were some good New Year's reflections, hey?
Mhm. Yeah. And even just a sense of pride too, in a way, right?
Yeah,
Of
we've come a long way.
wow, I actually did pretty good for myself, right?
Yeah.
You know?
Even if
Uh,
even if all the, judges out there think I didn't live my life perfectly, I did what I needed to do for me in order to get through it in a way that
And
I
not just that, like, I remember there was several things I went through that it was like, there's no way I'm getting out of this. Like I'm not going to make it through, and it's, you look back and you're like, how did I do it? Right.
yeah.
But we do. And I
Hmm.
think the kinder we are to our bodies and the more we have compassion and love for ourselves, um, and start seeing others just like see ourselves, right? And stop judging.
We're all messy humans.
Yeah. Start seeing that, we only know what we know.
Yeah, we only know what we know.
Yeah.
And at that time, in that exact moment, and as time goes on, we'll know more.
Yeah.
And sometimes less. Some of life is unlearning things that were actually harmful, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so yeah, it's a journey, and it's worth it to view it as a journey rather than as like trying to get to some gold standard destination. It's like
Yeah, exactly.
we're just going, and we don't even know for sure where we're going. Some of us have great goals, but then the world takes
They're
us.
going there, right?
Yeah,
That's where what our goals are, but we really don't know.
we really don't know.
We really can't plan.
No, we
And
really
that's
don't
why I
have the
guess
control of
staying
things
in the
we have.
moment. But staying in the moment
Yeah,
too,
yeah,
right? And not trying to get ahead of ourselves. It's like in this moment, this is what I can do to
yeah,
make better, right?
yeah. What's the next right thing? Because some moments feel unmanageable, and some feel
Mhm.
like we don't want them to end. And
Yeah.
either way, they're going to, right?
Mhm.
Everything in this life um, ends. Nothing's
Or
permanent.
it really transforms,
Yeah,
nothing really, it just, everything changes and keeps going
yeah, yeah.
as it should,
But
right?
differently. It doesn't stay the same.
No, it doesn't,
Even
because
rocks.
we're
Put 'em in
constantly
the, put some rocks in the river, and
yeah, exactly. Those change too.
yeah. So everything is even if it's being altered slowly, it's being altered, and some of it's really quick, right? And we only see it for a moment, so we got to enjoy it.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, that feels like a good place to say goodbye, and hope people come again
Mhm.
if they
Yeah.
want to, I suppose.
Yeah, I just want to wish everyone a happy new year, and
Yeah.
uh, hopefully they've taken time to look at where they want to go, and how they can make life better for themselves this year and
Hmm.
make it easier.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, because we in on one hand we have more control than we think, but also less.
Mhm.
Just different.
Yeah.
More responsibility, I guess, and less control.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. All right.
All right. We'll talk to you later.
Okay.